We about to start the show. We about to start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Yeah. Let's start the show. Yes.
Absolutely. Here's a version that captures your reaction, gives credit, and engages your audience. Title: History of the Russia-Ukraine conflict explained, unpacking the tensions. Description: the complex history of the Russia-Ukraine conflict has deep roots, and understanding it is crucial to grasp today's global dynamics. In this video, we dive into the key events, tensions, and turning points that have shaped these nations' relationship. As Mr. PopShit, I'm here to break it down for you with all the essential details and context you need. This is not just history, it's a current issue affecting people worldwide. Valuetainment did an excellent job outlining this intricate story, and now it's time for us to discuss its implications. Big shout out to Valuetainment for shedding light on this critical topic. Share your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe to join the conversation. We're aiming for 6,000 subscribers, and your support is invaluable as we explore these important issues together. Russia-Ukraine conflict. Valuetainment Mr. PopShit Global Politics 6K subscribers. This format is assertive.
Alright, y'all. If you watched my last live, we was talking about the whole Ukraine war and with Russia. And I came to the conclusion, I was like, what the fuck are they fighting for? Well, I found somebody that's gonna explain it to me. So, I'm trying to figure out this YouTube thing, right? And I've been fucking up. My bad, I'm supposed to cuss. But I've been messing up. I need to put more of myself on this. So, to anybody that's been watching me, I'm going to have to pause it a lot more now. I'm going to have to do a lot more talking and speaking so I can, I guess, get ownership of this, because they said I'm not doing enough. So, I'm going to have to be talking. So, for a while, y'all, I'm going to be only watching things that's intriguing to me. It's going to make me want to talk. So all the other stuff that we were just getting into, we're going to have to put a pause on that. And I'm going to have to get into stuff that's going to make me want to talk. Until I can get comfortable that I don't have to do these reactions no more. And I can just flat out put my narratives out there in the world. That's my goal, y'all. But let's get to what I wanted. I wanted to know why Russia wants Ukraine. I watched a little bit of this, and they were saying that Russia had control over Ukraine. What was it, for the last 300 years, 90-some%? That's their shit. And we was steady getting on the fact that, yes, Putin has not been holding his word. But he's going to tell us, I've seen a little bit of this. He's going to tell us where Ukraine did wrong at. Ukraine said they wasn't supposed to join, NATO, whatever the word is, the little collection group. And they grew more. And now Russia is looking at them like, nigga, you didn't hold your word neither. And the Ukrainians said, well, so what? You didn't hold your word neither. So now I think I kind of get a grasp on what's going on, but he's going to really break it down for us so I can see what's really going on, because I only watched a little bit. But, all right, let's go, man. I hope there was enough talking.
So there's a lot of worry about Russia, Ukraine, World War III, because Biden said, hey, you can use long-range missiles against Russia, and then Ukraine, they did. And then Putin comes out and sends the hypersonic missiles without any nuclear weapons in it. But if he did, what does that look like? How quickly does it go? And the argument is very weird, because both sides will say things like, well, you know, Russia didn't hold their end of their bargain when we, in 1991, the Budapest Agreement, when we gave them the 1,700 nuclear weapons that were left in Ukraine, we said we will give this back over to you as long as you no longer longer attack us and you give us security, and they didn't hold their end of their bargain. But then the other side is like, well, wait a minute, you also told us you're never going to join NATO, but now you are. But to fully understand this, we have to, one, see the people that say, no, Putin's the reason to blame. It's all his fault. We have to see their arguments. And no, NATO and Ukraine is the reason. And then we also got to look at the timeline of what the history looks like, what events took place, what different negotiations happened in the past. And then when you look at this, you're kind of like, whoa, I don't know if I agree with those guys. And I don't know about this. We're going to talk about all that stuff today.
I don't want to hear these niggas. Music, shits, none of that music. I'm sorry.
We'll even look at the map of how Russia grew the last 300-400 years since 1600s, and what they owned, what they lost, what happened, all of that stuff will go through it as well. But to go back through history, the most important thing to know is the fact that most of modern Ukraine was under Russia or Soviet control roughly 337 years, from 1667 to 1991, and approximately 90.76% of modern Ukraine history was under Russian or Soviet control. We're talking 91%, give or take. However, on December 1st, 1991, over 90% of Ukrainians voted for independence in a nationwide referendum reflecting widespread domestic support. And keep in mind, this is the time where Ronald Reagan, you hear the stories about the fact that, hey, Russia, look at you, everybody drives the same car, they live in the same apartment, there's no competition, nothing's taking place. Here's what you need to be doing. And there was an NGO that Reagan was one of the founders, I think in 1983, called the National Endowment for Democracy, that was started in early 80s, and they're going on saying free speech, free market, civil society, rule of law. Gorbachev was watching saying, maybe it's not a bad idea. And in 1990, Gorbachev accepted Germany's reunification and its continued membership in NATO under the explicit condition that NATO would not expand past Germany. NATO says you don't have to worry about it, even to the point that U.S. Secretary of State Jim Baker, German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, and Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher made verbal assurances, I give you my word, verbal assurances to Mikhail Gorbachev in February of 1990. Baker was famously known for saying that...
Tell me why they all looked like old mobsters. Them suits, some big ass suits on, and the hats.
NATO would move not 1 inch eastward, not 1 inch eastward beyond Germany. So imagine you're Russia, you're government, so, we made a great deal. Hey guys, let's make this work, totally fine. We're willing to accept capitalism. We're willing to accept some of the democracy, Western way of living. We'll take it, but let's make a deal. Yeah, listen, you ain't got to worry about it. We're going to be okay. This is what we're going to do. And then later on, it changed. Now, keep this in mind. When you're saying not 1 inch eastward, look at the map now. not 1 inch eastward of Germany. Look who now they expanded to. What do you think you're going to be thinking about if you're Russia? What's Russia's priority? Russia.
If you Putin, say, man, look it, man. It seemed like the world hates Putin and the world hates Trump. But China sides with Russia, right? China is with Russia, right? Right? Hold on. I'm confused. Isn't China and Africa with Russia? I wish I can see my chat right now. Oh, I can ask fucking hell. Hold on. Let's see. Let's get out of there. Okay. What are Russia's allies?
Russia's key allies include China, which has become an increasingly important partner in political and economic collaborations. Additionally, Russia maintains a strong relationship with countries like Belarus and Kazakhstan, largely due to their membership in the Eurasian Economic Union and the Collective Security Treaty Organization. Other nations, such as Syria and Iran, often align with Russia on geopolitical issues, reflecting shared interests in regional stability and military cooperation. Keep in mind that international alliances can be fluid and influenced by ongoing global events.
Wow. I gotta ask. What are Africa's allies?
Africa, as a continent, doesn't have allies in the same way a single nation might. given its vast diversity of countries, each with its own international relationships. However, many African nations engage in alliances and partnerships through various regional and international organizations. The African Union, AU, is a significant organization where African countries come together to address continental issues, foster economic collaboration, and enhance political.
I don't want to hear that shit. Well, all the white countries all together and have alliances and you get to talk about who is Africa's allies. Nigga, they don't got none, nigga, 'cause everybody else run their shit. And if I'm wrong, then let me know, man. But I don't even want to do this video no more. It just hurt my heart. I don't even want to do nothing no more, y'all. I don't even want to know about Russia or Ukraine no more. I don't, y'all. I don't even want to do this shit no more. Not this about this. I don't want to know nothing about them now. The fuck? Russia has allies, China has allies, America has allies, but Africa they have numerous allies. They not together on well, we are United States. These are not individual countries. And Africa is a continent, right? So it will be a little different. And Russia is Russia is not a continent. Russia is a country, right? Gotta ask, because I'm slow. I only graduated high school. That's all I did. Is Russia a country or a continent?
Russia is a country. It is the largest country in the world by land area and is located across East.
Okay. Is Africa a country or a continent? I think Africa's a continent.
Africa is a continent.
It's a continent, so that's the difference. Okay, I'm not there. We're gonna continue. It's not us. It's not our black folks' problem. Okay. But so what would you call? Okay, if Africa is what's the difference between continent and fucking country now? Now I need to go back to school. Okay, a continent is surrounded by water, right? And you have countries inside of a continent. Okay, so Asia would be Russia's, right? And Russia is inside of Asia. How would I ask that? I'm getting off the fucking what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back there.
Yeah. So you just made a deal, and then you're looking at this map saying, "Hey guys, what the hell are you doing?" Well, what happened to Margaret Thatcher, Jim Baker? What happened to Kohl? What happened to the German chancellor? All these promises. What is this all about? Right? So this is where it's like, well, maybe these guys are not keeping their word. Now, let's go back again, 1991. The Chicken Kiev speech refers to an address by President Bush, George H.W. Bush, on August 1st, 91, said to Supreme Soviet Union of the Ukrainian SSR in Kiev. In the speech, Bush cautioned against suicidal nationalism.
So, George H.W. Bush is the first one, right? And then you got George W. Bush is the second one. He's the junior, right? I can ask AI because I'm asking like I can see my chat. I can't see nothing in the chat. I can only see my OBS. So I gotta figure that out. I can see the chat and talk to the chat at the same time. Because that's what I'm supposed to be getting to, the chat. I'm supposed to have a chat like DJ Academics. Talk to the chat. They always talking about the chat. There I go. Venturing off in another world. We're supposed to be learning about Russia and Ukraine and how that conflict. Okay.
Hey guys, Ukraine, it's a suicide. If you want to kind of talk about Ukrainian nationalism, you've been part of these guys for all these years, but this is a suicide mission you're on. You sure you want to do this? You don't want to do it? We want to do it. Are you positive? We want to do it. It's a suicide mission you're on. They're going to come after eventually. No, we're going to do it. That's the warning that Bush gave to them at that time. And I keep in mind, the timing of this is interesting because this is August 1st, 91. And then December 1st, 91, 3 months later, over 90% of Ukrainians voted. So think about the timing. He's saying, you may not want to do this, this whole nationalism, because in Ukraine at the time, they had the Azov Battalion, which part of it they had built that was the Nazi symbol with the wolf sign. We've seen these before in documentaries. He's saying, guys, you're making a mistake. Do not do this. He's warning them. Shortly after that, we're talking exactly 19 days later, on December 20th, Boris Yeltsin in 91 writes a letter after the dissolution of Soviet Union. He sent a letter to NATO suggesting.
I got another dumb question that I want to ask. That I know I should know this, but okay. People from Ukraine are called what? Ukrainians? I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. But before they had their independence, what were they called? Okay, just like I want to pose the question, which I know the answer to it, but I want to think it's the same over there, like over here. Like, okay, this is North America, right? And are Canadians Americans? Yes. Or is people from Mexico? Are they Americans? Yes, they're on North America. So, North America is the continent. The country is Canada, United States, and Mexico. So, what were the Ukrainians? That's probably not y'all name. I only graduated high school, y'all. But the people from Ukraine, what are people from Russia called? Russians? Russianians? Hold on, I gotta just ask that, y'all, man. I feel stupid today. What are people from Russia called?
People from Russia are called Russians.
Russians. Okay. What are people from Ukraine called? Ukrainians?
People from Ukraine are called Ukrainians.
I was right. All right. Okay, so okay. Before Ukraine got its independence, what were people from Ukraine called?
Before Ukraine gained its independence in 1991, people from Ukraine were commonly referred to as Ukrainians, as the term has been historically used to describe the ethnic and national identity of the people living in this region, regardless of the political status of the territory.
Okay. I forgot. Okay. Russia is a country. So, what continent is Russia and Ukraine from? Asia, right? Oh, Europe. Okay, Europe. So they're all Europeans. So people from Russia and Ukraine, all of them are Europeans. Did not fucking know that. Did not know that. All right, let's get to this story, man. All right. I had to get my knowledge on, at least when I know what I'm looking at, So I'm sorry, y'all, but they said I got to talk more, and I'm talking more.
Suggesting that Russia was open to the idea of joining the alliance. Think about this. Russia is open to joining the alliance. Yeltsin framed the request as part of Russia's effort to foster closer relations with the West and to establish itself as a democratic nation. Now, the obvious question will be, what did NATO say? Well, NATO is not going to respond to them. They didn't. They're like, oh, okay, cool, that's nice of you to want to do this, but if we cannot do this, we built NATO specifically to go against you. If you now join us, now we're not needed. If we're not needed, what are we going to do with military-industrial complex? That's a big business model, making billions of dollars. Peace is not a good business model if you're selling weapons. Why would we want peace? Don't tell anybody this. Let's just kind of let...
All right, y'all. I got to ask these questions. What is NATO?
NATO or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a military alliance established in 1949. It comprises 31 member countries from North America and Europe, aimed at ensuring collective defense and security. The principle of collective defense means that an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all. NATO plays a crucial role in promoting stability, security, and democratic values in the transatlantic area.
In the transatlantic area. Who all's a part of that?
NATO currently has 31 member countries.
31.
These are 1. Albania 2, Belgium 3, Bulgaria 4, Canada 5, Croatia 6, Czech Republic 7, Denmark 8, Estonia 9, France 10, Germany 11, Greece 12, Hungary 13, Iceland 14, Italy 15, Latvia 16, Lithuania 17, Luxembourg 18, Montenegro 19, Netherlands 20, North Macedonia 21, Norway 22, Poland 23, Portugal 24, Romania 25, Slovakia 26, Slovenia 27, Spain 28, Turkey 29, United Kingdom 30, United States 31, Finland. These countries work together to ensure mutual defense and security through collective efforts.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I see, I think different now. I got more information. Hey man, it's like NATO is game. You fuck with any one of us, it's up for your asses. Now, if the United States is inside of this and Ukraine is inside of this, I see why old boy was popping shit. I see why Big Z was running around here like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, we got to get rid of Russia. They fucking with us. We supposed to have their back. We are so... China, what's going on? No, chill, mama, chill. Go back in there. Go back in there. Go back in there. We're supposed to have this dude back. And Trump is sitting there talking about, nah, nigga, he want to cake up with the goddamn... Hold on, Trump. I fuck with you, Trump. Oh, my nigga, this don't look right. This don't look right. If we part of gang, which is this nano shit, right? I just heard AI tell me about what this motherfucker is. If that's true, we supposed to go to war with Russia, y'all. All the Trump people who've been on the Trump side, hey, bro, we supposed to go to war with Russia. We ain't supposed to be caking with Russia, bro. Russia fuck with one of our gang members, man. No, man. See, I just jumped on the side without even getting all the information. I need more information now. I want to know more information now. I need to know more fucking information now. Because this is crazy. We supposed to hold old boy back. Why are we tripping with the young dude? I mean, with the little dude. We know his country's smaller than ours. We supposed to have his back. We the big dog. We the big homie. He ran over here, the big homie. We're like, hey, man, let's go and eradicate Russia. And Trump didn't do it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Trump, we supposed to have this nigga back, man. I don't know, y'all. I need more information. I still haven't picked the side yet.
Let this thing go. We know Yeltsin's trying to get some peace stuff going over here. No. NATO was shut down. Then what happens? A lot of people didn't want that. Now, keep in mind, when 1991 was going on, that whole nuclear weapons that we talked about that Ukraine had leads to the Budapest Memorandum 1994, in which Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in exchange for security guarantees from Russia.
To who? Who did they give it up? Who? They gave it to Russia?
UK and US. And at the time, when Ukraine declared independence of Soviet...
I need to shut the fuck up.
No. NATO was shut down. Then what happens? A lot of people didn't want that. Now, keep in mind, when 1991 was going on, that whole nuclear weapons that we talked about that Ukraine had leads to the Budapest Memorandum 1994, in which Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons in exchange for security guarantees from Russia, UK, and US. And at the time, when Ukraine declared independence of Soviet Union in 1999, it inherited the world's third largest nuclear arsenal, 1,700 nuclear warheads for intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, and strategic bombers. They gave it back. They just said, make sure you protect us. Again, this is the part where they go back and forth. Fast forward 2 years later, Ukraine writes their first post-Soviet constitution in 96 with the help of US. Then again in 2000, similar to what Yeltsin said, 9 years prior to that, Putin comes out.
Hold on, man. 96, that's when Pac died. R.I.P. Tupac, y'all. Put your twos up. 96 is a significant year for me, man. Tupac died. NBA, the best draft class of all time. It's 96. I'm going on for another tangent. Okay, my bad, y'all. My bad, people.
And says, look, in an interview with BBC, they would consider joining NATO if it were treated as an equal partner. However, this was more of a rhetorical statement to gauge NATO's willingness to engage with Russia on equal terms rather than a formal proposal. Now, here's what's interesting. There's a clip of Tucker interviewing Putin where Putin explains, when Clinton was here right next door, I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think about the idea of us joining NATO? He said, that's an interesting idea. Let me talk to my team. Then they go and he talks to his team and they come back and says, no, not right now, maybe later on. That's a conversation that took.
Is this true? Hold on. So, why is people, these plays don't seem right, my nigga. I mean, not my nigga, because y'all not niggas. But these plays don't seem right. If Putin said he wanted to join NATO, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm going to say it's going to make me comfortable, okay? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But if Putin wanted to join there, and then our president at the time tell him, nah, you good. If we all under one umbrella, then that means ain't nobody gonna be fighting. So why wouldn't you want him under there? Because you want to be able to fight. You want to be able to continue doing war shit and building more bombs and building more artillery. I need more information. I need more. I just don't know nothing, man. It just make me feel like I don't know nothing, and that's my fault.
Place between Clinton and Putin that he talked about on Tucker. So even though he may have been interested, NATO was not interested in having Russia join NATO. Why? It's a fair question for you to ask. Why wouldn't they want him to join NATO?
I did the deal the other day. I said, what if the United States and Russia go together? Like, how would that be for the world? And it was crazy the outcome they gave us. But why wouldn't they want that? Because you need an enemy. You need somebody to fight. Makes sense. Well, just going to fight China. Then you just have China by themselves, and then they would just fold. Because ain't the top three is Russia, America, and China. If either of them three connect to each other, the rest of the world is doomed. Is that what they don't want? They don't want the world to be, they need the world to be spread up and everybody had their own shit like that? Is that what? I'll go again.
Would it eliminate the idea of NATO? What would happen there? Again, moving along with the timeline. This is 2000. He's asking to join NATO. Then 9/11 happens, which is a year and a half later. When that takes place, Putin comes out publicly being one of the first leaders to give solidarity and willingness to cooperate with U.S. in combating terrorism. He was reportedly the first leader to call President Bush on the...
Yo, hold on. This is another fuck shit I don't know. I only graduated high school. How is Putin with that president and he the president now? Like, don't he got a term? He get to just be president forever? How did that shit roll over there in Russia? I gotta ask. How's Putin the president for these many years?
Vladimir Putin.
Oh, come on, man. Give me the real voice.
Vladimir Putin has been a dominant figure in Russian politics for over 2 decades. He first became president in 2000 and served 2 terms until 2008. After a term as prime minister, he returned to the presidency in 2012 and was re-elected in 2018. As of now, he has been in power for more than 20 years.
How's that possible? I thought you could only serve 2 terms.
Vladimir Putin has been able to maintain his leadership through a combination of constitutional changes and political maneuvers. Initially, the Russian constitution allowed for a maximum of 2 consecutive presidential terms. After his first 2 terms from 2000 to 2008, he stepped down to serve as prime minister while Dmitry Medvedev became president. This allowed him to retain significant influence over Russian politics. In 2012, Putin returned to the presidency after winning election following Medvedev's term. He was re-elected in 2018. In 2020, a constitutional referendum was held, which included amendments allowing him the possibility to run for additional terms, potentially extending his presidency until 2036. This effectively reset the term limits and has allowed him to remain in power for an extended period.
Yo, they love him over there. They love that man. And we don't know what's going on. I definitely don't know what's going on in Russia, but they love him. Shit, nigga been in power for that goddamn long. He must be doing some good for his people, and they love him. But I don't know what that is. God damn.
The day of attacks, expressing condolences and the support, emphasized that Russia understood the pain of terror, referencing Russia's own experiences with terrorist attacks, particularly in Chechnya, but Putin condemned the attacks as a barbaric act of terrorism against innocent people and offered Russian solidarity with the American people. Then 2 months later, November of 2001, he supports the U.S. in Afghanistan. Putin backed the U.S.-led military intervention in Afghanistan to dismantle al-Qaeda and Taliban. Russia provided crucial logistic assistance, including opening Russian airspace for U.S. and NATO flights. Think about that. Most people forgot that. That's 23 years ago they're sitting there saying, hey, we know you guys are doing this. Whatever you need, we're here to help you. Think, America, Russia, whatever you need, we're helping you in NATO. We don't hear this story often when that took place, when they're helping Afghanistan, right? Facilitating the use of Central Asian bases by U.S. forces, sharing intelligence on Afghanistan terrorist networks. Putin's never been a fan of terrorist organizations, and he's openly described terrorism as a common enemy of both Russia and the U.S., signaling a shared commitment to global counterterrorism. This is good. This is 23 years ago. So at this time, November 2001, America's like, oh, okay, he's helping us out. Afghanistan, this was cool. We're getting this support.
I need to find out what I don't like about Trump, because I like him. I need to find out what I don't like him, and see if do they outweigh each other. Because right now, what he's pressing on and how he's looking out here in these streets, I'm for him. I know he's gonna have some backslash on some things. Can I get over those some things? I think with Russia, this dude is killing it over there. Unless it's just, what would they say, like how it is in Africa, corrupt. Unless it's just corrupt and he just like forcing himself. But I don't know. I don't have enough information. But yeah, okay.
2 years later, it's like, listen, guys, what's the story with this Iraq war? What are you guys doing with the Iraq war? I'm not with it. Invasion of Iraq, seeing it as a destabilizing and outside the scope of counterterrorism. Now he's not showing support to some of the stuff that's going on. And how much did Iraq cost us? How much money? How many troops died? Then the color revolutions, the U.S. support for pro-democracy movements in former Soviet states such as Ukraine, Georgia, heightened Putin's suspicion of Western intentions. Like, wait a minute, guys, what are we doing? I'll give you support, but don't think for a moment I'm naive. What are we doing here? I'm not with this, and I'm not with this. Don't blindly take my support that you can now do anything, and I'll back you up. And in NATO expansion, even more going into Eastern Europe. Guys, at this point, we have a problem. You're not showing that you want peace here. You're showing that you want to paint me as an enemy, and how much more can I go sitting here wanting to make things good with you guys, but you guys keep pushing the envelope. Now, this leads to 2004, 2005 Orange.
If it's fuck you, it's fuck your whole block, nigga. That's basically what it boiled down to. That's how you gotta move. You can't single out a nigga and say, oh, I just hate him, but all y'all cool. Nah, it's fuck all y'all. Oh, man.
Revolution. You may have seen this documentary before. I think Oliver Stone did a good documentary on this. Protests in Ukraine were sparked by widespread allegations of electoral fraud during the 2004 presidential election, where Viktor Yanukovych was initially declared the winner over Viktor Yushchenko, but twice this happened, 04 and 14. However, demonstrations, civil disobedience, civil resistance, strike actions, revolt ordered by the Supreme Court of Ukraine that Viktor Yushchenko declared winner. At the same time, who had their hands on this? Couple NGOs. One of them was the National Endowment for Democracy, the NED, and the other one was the Open Society Foundation, which you know who that's a part of, George Soros. So it gets a little bit tricky here. Wait a minute, this guy wins, but you're not happy with him because this guy had no desire, Viktor Yanukovych, who had a decent relationship with Putin, had no desire to be part of NATO, and they're like, no, we don't want that. We want Ukraine to be part of NATO. Now imagine you're Putin. Wait a minute, all these promises, you want me to sit here? You just crossed the line. We now officially have a problem. That's why his motives are where they're at. Now, at the end of this 2008, 2012, Putin steps down.
See, we don't know that. We don't know that. They just paint this man to be it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to say this, but nah, I'm going to leave that alone. But how do certain men in the past, I'm getting pretty good at this. I'm staying away from certain names. How do certain men in the past get power, convince everybody, do fucked up things, and they still support them? How do we get all that support? Because I don't fucking know.
And Dmitry Medvedev comes in because at the time they only had a two-term. Of course, later on it changes. But he steps down and tens of thousands of people participate in the 2011-2012 Russian protests, also known as a snow revolution.
I say that they give him all this power and then he do some fucked up shit. Who's to blame for that? He's only one man. How do one man take over a country and then start doing fuck shit? And who's to blame for that? The people who put him in power?
Protests took place across major cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, with chants like Russia without Putin and United Russia is the party of crooks and thieves. Now, the Bolotnaya Square protests in Moscow were among the largest since the 1990s. Now, here's where it gets tricky. So these guys are protesting to not be for Putin, right? And in America, NGOs can pay people to protest. We don't have a law against that. It happens all the time, and it's a regular thing. Open Society's been behind it. Putin says, wait a minute, you guys want to pay these guys? This is allegedly, and some people can verify this, you guys are getting paid to protest against me, so you make me look like an idiot in Russia? No problem. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to make sure anybody that's taking money from any NGO, whether it's the National Endowment for Democracy, or it's the USA, the United...
Yo, I ain't even finished listening to this, but I'll tell you why Trump like him. Ain't that kind of what Trump did? Same shit? Like, oh, when I get back in office, I'm checking all you niggas. Any niggas got some fuck shit, y'all niggas getting. Let me continue this. It's probably not what's going on.
United States Agency for International Development, anybody that's taking money from NGO, you have to declare it to everybody. You can't just go out there and take the money and fool the average Russian voter, not realizing what's really going on. By the way, you may or may not...
Finding corruption. Ain't that what Trump doing, y'all? Seen that like that's what Putin did to... But niggas here still don't fuck with Trump. I don't understand that, man. A nigga finding corruption and want to give you some of the money. But I don't think nobody gonna get no money, though.
Agree with whatever Putin's doing, but are you for NGOs paying people to be actors going outside, making a lot of ruckus, confusing the American people, and the media comes and says, oh, look, they're all against the president. They're all against the president. Look at all this stuff. Do you want to be manipulated? Do you want the American people to be manipulated? Because it happens in America all the time. He sits there and says, I'm not with the guys. You're not doing that. I think I need to come back. Now, imagine during this time, 2008, 2012, Putin's watching everything that's going on around the world. You have a lot of time, right? It's like, wait a minute, what's going on over here? What's going on over there? What is all this stuff? He's done, right? Assuming he's done. And he sees the global uprisings, Arab Springs, 2010, 2011. Well, what happened to Middle East leaders like Ben Ali from Tunisia, Mubarak from Egypt, or Gaddafi, Libya? Even in the documentary, Putin's Revenge.
Hey, man, then what's the name's love Gaddafi? What's them niggas, the Farrakhan niggas? The Farrakhan nigga, man. I seen a whole bunch of clips of him talking about this guy. What's Farrakhan people called? Nation of Islam. They love Gaddafi.
Julia Loaf, who is part of that documentary, says that Putin is said to have been deeply affected by the way Muammar Gaddafi was killed. He watched a video of a bloodied Gaddafi dragged from his bunker, sodomized and shot over and over and over. Think about it, he's watching this.
Sodomize. What does sodomize mean? What does sodomize mean?
To sodomize means to engage in anal sexual intercourse, typically referring to the act of a male having anal sex with another male or a female. The term originates from the biblical story of Sodom and Gomorrah and is often used in a legal or medical context.
What the hold on, bro. Y'all did Gaddafi like that? Hold on, brethren. Oh, back over. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot, my bad.
Even in the documentary Putin's Revenge, Julia Loaf, who is part of that documentary, says that Putin is said to have been deeply affected by the way Muammar Gaddafi was killed. He watched a video of a bloodied Gaddafi dragged from his bunker, sodomized and shot over and over and over. Think about it, he's watching. It's like, wait a minute, what are they doing to a guy like this over and over? And he thinks he is doing everything to
A guy that had no debt. Hey, man, I listen to Farrakhan. I fuck with Farrakhan. But his country had no debt at the time that Gaddafi was running this shit, man. No fucking debt. That's what I do know. And they was fucking filthy rich. They was good. Everybody was paid for. If the doctors couldn't do it, he would goddamn me paid to send you out there and get it done over there. Like free health care and all that. Like, Gaddafi was the man for his people. And I don't even think he was African. That's in Africa, right?
to avoid a similar fate. He's doing the opposite. This is the report that's being given by Julia. He's watching all this stuff taking place. When he got killed, Gaddafi, it was October 20th, 2011. So this is the 4-year span.
Hold on, Gaddafi died in 2000. Hold on, no, he didn't. Tupac was talking about him. So no, that couldn't be true because Tupac was talking about him.
That he's not running Russia, and he's saying this is kind of weird. They went after Saleh from Yemen. Then he saw the color revolutions with what happened with Georgia. He's saying all these post-revolution, Orange Revolution, then overthrows, all these things that's going on. This is influencing him to sit there and say, wait a minute, the fear of Western influence saw these moments as U.S.-led effort to destabilize authoritarian regimes.
He talking about Western influence, man. It's more like Europe, like. That's Europe. Oh, that's us too, though. But it's not us now, though. Now we got Trump in there.
He knows what he is. It's not like he's debating it. He knows what he is himself. Domestic parallels with Russian protests shared traits with these uprisings that is being paid by NGOs. All of this influences him to say, you know, like, look, whether he wanted to come back all along or not, nobody knows. Only he knows that. But all of this says, hey, no, listen, Dmitry, you're a good guy, but I think you're maybe a little bit of a pushover. This is Russia. I'm going to come back and defend this is my place. There's no way I'm going to let this happen to Russia.
He want to say motherland. He want to say Africa. He want to say, you hear him, y'all? He switched it up. He want to say motherland. Nah, nigga, Russia ain't no motherfucking motherland, man.
Coming back to clean house, and that influenced him to come back. Now, right after Gaddafi dies, October 20th, 2011, month and a half later, December 4th, 2011, Putin wins. When he wins, he's going to come back and be the president. Hillary Clinton gets out there and says the following. In that time, says, as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton criticized Russia's parliamentary elections, calling them neither free nor fair, which reportedly angered Putin. So he comes back and there's a few things he does immediately. Just number one, he cracked down on dissent, restricted NGOs, used anti-Western rhetoric to undermine opposition. Putin blamed protests on foreign interference, particularly from US, and accused Western-funded NGOs of inciting unrest. A law passed in 2012 requiring NGOs receiving foreign funding to register as foreign agents. Think about it. You're getting money from an NGO. You have to come out and say, hey guys, I'm a foreign agent. If you didn't, you're breaking the law. Something very weird that you need to know about. February of 2008, the current CIA director under Biden, William J. Burns, at the time was a U.S. ambassador to Russia, authored a confidential cable titled Niet means Niet, Russia's NATO enlargement red lines. In this document, the current CIA director, former ambassador to Russia, he conveyed Russia's strong opposition to NATO's eastward expansion, particularly regarding Ukraine and Georgia. He highlighted that Russia's officials viewed such enlargement as a potential military threat and a violation of their security interests. Burns warned that pursuing NATO membership for Ukraine could lead to an internal divisions, violence, or even civil war, potentially compelling Russia to intervene. This is February of 08. Right now we're what? November of 2024. 16 years ago, current CIA director, former ambassador of Russia, saying, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? 16 years ago, this guy knew what was going to take place and is given a warning to U.S. And they're like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And by the way, you know who was president in 08? Obama. 1 month after inauguration, saying, don't mess with these guys. It could backfire on us. Boom. Now, many will say we're on the brink of World War III. If one of those hypersonic weapons, their missiles they're sending has a nuclear bomb in it, guess what happens then? Game changer, right? Now, you remember in 2004, that whole protesting that took place when the two victors were running, Yushchenko, who wanted...
What do they want? See, anytime you start talking about bombs and shit, it makes you fearful, because you can't control that. That shit hit, knock everybody the fuck out. You don't want to go to... Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit different, because we don't want war. That's the one thing we don't want. And the one thing I know about America is we don't want war on our own fucking soil. That's one thing we want. We'll fight you over there on your shit, but we don't want to fight here. I don't know, man. I don't think I got the guts to be even in politics like that as a president and doing all that old shit. That's other people's... You just jumping in other people's business, and you gotta... Nah, you can't do that, and you secretly, go and beef with them, because we don't like them anyway, so go ahead and the proxy wars and all that old... This shit is nasty work. It's unnecessary. Everybody, nigga, this is the new generation, man. There's no hunger and none of that. Everything is fine. Everything is cool and dandy, man. You just gotta work your land and do your shit, and we gonna work our land, and we gonna do our shit and just chill, man. We fuck with you niggas on the internet, man. We talk to y'all niggas online. Hey, how you doing, Russians? Hey, how you doing, Ukrainians? Israel? The other Muslim shits over there? I didn't mean to call y'all shits. That's not what I meant. That's just how I talk. Okay, let me stop talking.
Ukraine to be part of NATO, and the other Victor, which was Viktor Yanukovych, who was like, no, we don't need to be part of NATO. I will have a better relationship with Putin. Guess what? Yushchenko becomes president from 2005 to 2010 for Ukraine. This is the third president of Ukraine. Then the other Victor, who's kind of like, nah, I have no interest in being part of Ukraine. He then becomes president. 2010 to 2014, he now is the president. However, protesting in Ukraine gets so bad in November of 2013 after Yanukovych refused to sign an EU association agreement favoring closer ties with Russia. Many Ukrainians...
I don't want to live like that. Look at this woman's face, man. That ain't crying because your boyfriend. That is not crying for a boyfriend. That's survival cry, man. Look at that. Look at her face, man. That's a different type of pain there, man. That's a different type of pain, man. Look at that, man. I feel like I want to cry now, man. God damn. Look at that pain, bro. Look at that. And she got caps in her goddamn teeth. Man, come on, man. Look at that. She got a little silver in her. You see that? She got a little silver cap like a little baby, man. Crisis in Ukraine. President refused to resign.
Ukrainians, especially in the west and center of the country, supported EU integration as a pathway to economic forum, democratic... protesting in Ukraine gets so bad in November of 2013 after Yanukovych refused to sign an EU association agreement favoring closer ties with Russia. Many Ukrainians, especially in the west and center of the country, supported EU integration as a pathway to economic reform, democratic governance, and escape in Russia's influence. Anger at Yanukovych's perceived corruption and authoritarianism drove public discontent. It was so nasty that he had to leave, and he was no longer safe being in Ukraine. I believe he escaped to Russia, if I'm not mistaken. So if you keep in mind, while this is taking place, the West is saying, no, this is all organic. It's what these people want. They want this. They want to join NATO. They want a better relationship with EU. They don't want to have anything to do with Russia. Putin saying, no, these people are not real. They're getting paid. And so the lady from the Frontline documentary done Putin's Revenge, she went on the streets asking the people in Ukraine who were protesting, hey, did somebody pay you? And you know what many of them said? Yes, we were paid. She has nothing to do with this. She's Frontline, PBS, doing a documentary, Putin's Revenge. No, a lot of these guys were paid by NGOs to go out there and make it seem like they wanted the other guy. This is your part where you get to pick and choose and believe who you want to believe. Some say, no wonder this happened. US and NGOs are being involved. It's your part where you get to pick and choose and believe who you want to believe. Some say, no wonder this happened. US and NGOs are being involved to make sure there's a fall because they don't want more peace there, because they want a guy that wants to join NATO because we need a bigger enemy to keep going after them. This is business for us, right? Again, this is all allegedly. You get to pick and choose which argument you want to believe. So now the next 8 years, you know what happens? It's the back and forth of Russia against NATO and each finding ways to piss the other one off. And this happens for 8 years. NATO expands its presence in Eastern Europe, which is Poland, Estonia, Latvia, military exercises. NATO's doing these large-scale military exercises.
Why it's always the little countries always wanting to fight with the big countries? Like, why did the Asian guy, that like Dennis Rodman, that guy, I don't know his name, y'all, I'm sorry, but I see him. Why he want to fight us, bro? Like, you little as fuck, bro. Like, leave us alone. Why is the little countries always like, rah, 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 rah. And why don't the big countries just swallow up the small ones and force them to be us? Like, why don't they just do that? Make it just 3 countries instead of all these little bitty motherfuckers try to act like they can run with the big dogs. Like, just swallow them up. No, nigga, you with us, nigga. And just swallow up all the small ones, and we just have 3 peoples. What you would call them? I don't know. It was just 3 of them instead of all this.
Such as
I know I'm all over the place, y'all.
Defender Europe or Trident Juncture. At the same time, Russia's responding and doing its own military exercises. The Zapad exercises showing them the fact that, hey, we're ready for simulating large-scale conflict with NATO forces. Then there's allegations of cyber attacks from Russia to NATO members such as Ukraine and others, like the NotPetya attack of 2017, and then disinformation campaigns from both sides. Meanwhile, Ukraine growing NATO aspirations, declared NATO membership as a strategic.
Hey, that's Z right there. I know Z. Hey, I know Z. As one Ukrainian that I know for life. I could spot him anywhere. That's Z, ain't it, y'all? That's Big Z.
Strategic goal in 2019. Again, can you imagine, like, wait a minute, what are you guys doing here, right? Enshrining it in its constitution, NATO provided increased financial and military assistance to Ukraine. Russia viewed NATO's growing relationship with Ukraine as a direct threat to its security, citing NATO's 2008 Bucharest summit declaration that Ukraine and Georgia would eventually join the alliance. This keeps going back and forth, and it's getting more and more heated. Again, this leads to 2021, the military buildup near Ukraine. Russia amassed over 100,000.
Okay, so let me get this right. So Putin is going at Ukraine on some like principle shit. It's not like he want the land or nothing like that. It's he want the land, of course, but like it's like on some oh really type shit. Oh, like you don't believe me type of shit. Is that what this is about? Am I gauging this wrong? I need more information. Oh, I should just shut the fuck up.
troops near Ukraine border in late 2021, citing security concerns, opposing NATO's continued expansion. NATO and Western leaders accuse Russia of preparing for an invasion. Then this comes to December of 2021. Russia makes its demands that a guarantee Ukraine would never join NATO and removal of NATO military infrastructure from Eastern Europe. NATO rejects those demands, affirming Ukraine's right to determine its alliance. They're now backtracking on their promises that they had. And a couple months after that request, guess what happens? War. So at the end of the day, the question becomes motive. What is NATO's motive? What is US's motive? What is Ukraine's motive? What is Putin's motive? Everybody's motive, right? They can tell us whatever they want that we see all over TV and news and all these experts that are speaking, but you and I have to study history for ourselves, for yourself. Say,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know, what is their motive? Because motive for Russia could be, if you look at this map from 1500s of what happened to Russia from then, where Fedor was there, then Boris and all these guys, all the way up, you
15 years ago, this shit was not exciting as it is right now. Like, I would not be paying attention to this shit 15 years ago.
see how much territory they got. And when you think about Ukraine was under Russian or Soviet control for 337 years, from 1667 to 1991. All right, so Russia's motive is to say what? Ukraine is really ours. What are you guys talking about? This is none of your business. This is my
Yo, when I first heard that shit, that's how I felt. I'm gonna say something I probably shouldn't say, just like the whole Israel thing. Like, who was there first? Whoever was there first is theirs. Can't nobody give it to you. You can't just buy it without giving it to the owner of the land. I don't know what that means.
our property. What are you doing? And then NATO's point may be, well, Yeltsin was easy to negotiate with. He was a bit of a pushover, nice guy. He was like a globalist. Maybe we could have worked with him and done some of the stuff that we wanted to do. Dmitry was kind of easier. This guy, Putin, is a true believer, and we got to get rid of this guy because he's in the way. Because if NATO and U.S. really wanted peace, why don't you allow him to join NATO? And if you do, you put certain guidelines in place. Yes, we want to entertain you being part of NATO, but we need you to do boom, 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 boom. Why don't you do that? Why isn't that conversation taking place? Why? Is it because the people that are given the money are tied to maybe some of these military industrial complex companies that are like, wait a minute, guys, we need a little bit of war? Are they trying to push Russia to get strong with BRICS? Is that a good thing for the world? I don't know. But the most important thing we have to study is motive.
That's what I'm saying. What if, hold on, if China is with, China's kind of with us too. No, is China with us? China and Russia together, they should better beat us, right? So why haven't they attacked us then? Why haven't they, if they really want to beat us? I don't know. I don't know. I do not fucking know. I need to know these things, man.
Last night, my dad and I are sitting there. We're talking about different countries that have been destroyed because of war. And he says, how do they rebuild these countries? How do they do it? I said, major banks come in, like a Chase, like a BlackRock. Hey, $400 billion, we'll rebuild your country at such and such. And if the country doesn't pay the money back, what do you think is the collateral? Your natural resources. The banks are going to get their money. Like imagine if you say, hey, I need $500,000. You go to Joey, I'll give you $500,000. Based on what? Back it up based on $1 million equity you have in your property. If you don't return $500,000 to me within a year, I own your land. Collateral, right? So these big banks are going to come in and say, oh, let's rebuild Ukraine, $400 billion. What if we can't pay back? Don't worry, we're going to get your natural resources. You got plenty. Hey, we got to get this Putin knocked out of the way. Why? Because the number one country in the world with natural resources is not us. It's Russia. $75 trillion. And there's a man in the way. You know what his name is? Putin. That guy's got to get out the way so we can go in Russia and do business. It's a lot of money. The more you and I know motives, the more we can understand why every one of these guys are presenting their argument the way they are. And then you will be responsible on whose motives you believe and whose motives you don't. But at the end of the day, history will tell us whose position was right. And
I'm going to say this. I've never heard Putin talk. Facts. Never heard him speak. Never heard him. I ain't seen no clips of this nigga talking, but I haven't looked neither. But I haven't looked for these other motherfuckers, and they in my face, and I see them speaking. I think we need to side with the nigga that's already on our squad. Facts. And I think the nigga that everybody that's in our squad don't like, we need to look at that nigga like a op and just be cool, not cool with the nigga, but hey man, you just stay over there, man. Don't fuck with us. You gotta be the chaperone. You gotta be the person just to watch and make sure that the world don't end. That's America's part. America gotta be the motherfucker that make sure that the world don't end. Don't force the world to end. Don't jump into the world ending. Make sure it don't. Make sure it don't happen. That's my thoughts, man. And I'm gonna stop it on this. I'm not even gonna let Playboy get his shit off. You feel me? So, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe. This is what these gonna look like from now on, buddies. Me doing a bunch of talking. You feel me? Hey, yo, but before I go, to that pussy nigga that made me lose my Facebook account, my Instagram account. It's up for you, nigga.
Shit. Nigga. Oh, funny. Bullshit up. Fucking. Fucking, man. I don't give a fuck about nothing, man.
I make this shit look easy.
See you boys later.
I make this shit look easy. I make this shit look easy. I see what I like, then I go out and get it. I make changes, that's why I'm different. I see it before it happens, that's vision. Telling myself I know I like
I like discipline. I like discipline. I like discipline.